Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see that. And boy, oh boy, I don't even know where to begin. So where do we even begin with this topic here? All right. This has been one of the strangest NBA finals I have seen in quite some time. It seems like it is more about the drama surrounding these games, in and in between games, than the actual games themselves. That's what it seems to be like. It is turned into basically Draymond Green versus everybody right now. Like, that's what it seems like. As y'all know, Draymond Green is a very outspoken guy, and he will respond to pretty much anything you say about him. Anything, especially if you say something negative about him. That's the one that really gets him going. He will respond to everything. And it seems as if everybody's been going at Draymond Green. Everyone has been going at him. And after his Game 3 performance, after the performance he had in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, people have been calling him out, and some people have been saying that he needs to focus more on the game or the games and pay more attention to the basketball game than podcasting. And that is something that irritated Draymond Green to the high heavens. In fact, I recently heard an audio where he came out and said, y'all gonna, what did he say? You're gonna keep getting this podcast. Y'all gonna keep getting this podcast. You're gonna keep getting this podcast. And it's like another thing for him to kind of quarrel with people over. Because Draymond Green has made it up in his mind that he has to have his podcast. And of course, there've been some people out there that's saying, why are you telling him he can't talk? I'm just waiting for it. What I'm waiting for is, why are you saying he can't talk about, why are you saying he can't do a podcast? Are you saying that, athletes can't do podcasts? And that's the first thing. And the next one that eventually some idiot is going to say is, why are you trying to stop a black man from doing it? There's going to be somebody. We already saw CJ McCollum try to do that on ESPN First Take the other day. And I was like, especially a lot of the viewers were like, bro, how did you even bring that one into this? So I'm just wait. Somebody somewhere is going to pull that out. Y'all just wait. So people have been saying that and like, bro, just focus on the games, right? Focus on the games. Now, as y'all know, Draymond Green is one of the toughest guys in the NBA, or at least talks like it. Draymond Green talks a big game, right? And recently he made some comments about Cedric Maxwell. And I think Isiah Thomas got a whiff of that. And y'all know Isiah Thomas is from Chicago, and he ain't afraid of nobody. Although you see him always smiling and all of that stuff, Isiah Thomas is not a cupcake, all right? And Isiah Thomas basically gave his take on Draymond Green's performance after Game 3. And for those of you guys who missed what Isiah Thomas had to say, take a listen to what Zeke had to say here. Take a listen to that. We're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
Zeke, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Draymond. But more importantly, he just said he was too soft.
Well, the NBA Finals, and when you're playing for a championship, it really is about your mental toughness and your mental focus, and being able to totally 100% concentrate on your opponent, shutting him down, understanding their offensive and defensive schemes. And anytime you lose that focus or that concentration, and you're talking about Cedric Maxwell, and you're talking about podcast, and you're talking about the fans.
Don't talk about X and O's, though.
Then you have lost, you have really lost your concentration and your focus. And where does that show up? That show up in the box score in a game like tonight, where you play 34 minutes, you have 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 points. Draymond Green does that in a grade school game, not in the NBA Finals. So when you talk about focus, this is what the NBA Finals is about. And right now, he has lost focus in terms of concentrating on beating the opponent. He's not talking about Jaylen Brown. He's talking about podcasts, and he's talking about Cedric Maxwell and the fans. concentration needs to come back on the Boston Celtics players who you're playing against out on the floor.
You really think that the comments within that
100%.
You really believe that?
Because let me tell you what we did in the NBA Finals and what made us so effective in terms of beating our opponents. Whenever I can distract you and make you think for 1 second about something else other than beating me, then I'm going to beat your ass when we out on the floor. Because if you're not concentrating and you're not coming with intensity for 48 minutes, 2.5 hours to play against me and our team, you are going to lose. And that's what happened here tonight with Draymond Green.
So as you heard, Isiah Thomas did not hold back whatsoever. Now, here are my thoughts on this entire thing. I think some NBA players are growing tired of hearing Draymond Green run his mouth. I think at first, maybe they thought it was entertaining. They were like, oh, this is Draymond being Draymond. But when he started going at everyone and talking this big talk and then step on the court and completely stink up the joint, I think it's when people really started getting irritated with him. They're like, you talk a big game, Draymond. You talk a big game. Okay, bring it. And then when you get into an NBA Finals game, and you have 2 points and you do all the 4 rebounds and they're like, you have as many, I don't know if it's many field goals as fouls or personal fouls or something like. I think that's when people start to get tired of. I think that's when guys start to go like, bro, okay, you're doing a lot of talking right now, but you're not backing it up. I think that's what you're beginning to see here. That's the first thing. I also think that I don't think that any of those Boston Celtics, I don't think anybody on the Boston Celtics roster is afraid of Draymond Green. I don't think any of these guys are intimidated by Draymond Green whatsoever. I don't think they are. I just think that guys are trying to understand, okay, how do we play with this guy? Like, this guy seems to just be belligerent on the basketball court. So how do we handle it? In game 1, I think he kind of threw a lot of guys off. Game 2, a little bit. But now in game 3, you saw dudes was going right at him. You saw, Jaylen Brown, calling off a pick. Like, nah, I want Son. I want him, right? Don't give me Stephen Curry. I want him, right? And guys are starting to go at him. I don't think anybody, you even saw the Boston Celtics head coach, Ime Udoka. I don't think anybody's afraid of Draymond Green. I think that these guys are just getting tired of him running his mouth. Now, here's my biggest takeaway from all of this. It seems to me that Draymond seems to be a very sensitive person. He seems to want to respond to any comment that's not favorable for him. Everything seems to get him going. Every little dig at him seems to get him going. And I think the moment opponents realize that about him, they're going to take full advantage of him, in my personal opinion. And that's what Isiah Thomas was talking about. When you make it more about trash talking and you can get a guy out of his game, he's like, we're going to beat you every single time. And right now, these finals have been more about what Draymond is saying rather than what he's actually doing on the court. And he's an important cog for that Golden State Warriors machine, right? He's the engine oil. He's the one that makes them go. And if he's out of his game or he's not really being effective, it's going to hurt the team. And that's what Isiah Thomas was pointing to. Personally, I'm not a fan of the trash talking. I mean, trash talking is fun. It can be interesting, but it's even more fun when guys are actually giving each other buckets. But when you're trash talking and your only way of retaliation is, playing hockey in a basketball game, to me, that's not fun. I've seen games when Kobe Bryant went at different guys and he was giving them buckets. Kobe wasn't just talking trash and stinking up the joint. He was giving dudes buckets, right? So in this particular case, I just think it's becoming excessive, and I think some fans are getting tired of it. I think Draymond has done a lot of talking, and now it's time to put up. If you're going to talk that big talk, you got to walk that big walk. Game 4 is here, and you got to show and prove. Because you can talk a big game, but you got to step up and show it. And Isiah Thomas is like, yo, bro, we don't believe you. You need more people. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.